Because we just don't need to.
Yep, I'm ready.
It needs to be a little bold, right? You need a laundry box, please. There you go. You did good, Bubba. I wrote them on my big calendar. And it's transferred to my little calendar. Jersey, right? Yeah.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Out of respect, please silence all cell phones and remove all hats. Please stand for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any members taping tonight's recording? No. Where is he? Okay, Peter? Okay. Just 1 second before we start the meeting. I just want to thank everybody, neighbors and friends who sent prayers to our family. I lost my brother and his fiance 2 weeks ago in a horrific motorcycle accident up in Citrus County. Both of them were killed. The community cards and prayers and phone calls, thank you very much. The family appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna go through the approval of minutes. Do we have any questions, Richard?
I do. I have a couple. There's sort of corrections that need to be made.
Sorry, people. I keep thinking this thing is some way handy. I have a couple of questions, and there's a couple of things that were off in here. So can we update those?
Okay, where, Catherine, where are
Right
you?
here, I've got it circled. Well, highlighted. Right here. So So it's under the president's report, where it talks about,
The people that apply.
that, well, it says here that FICE felt that the people interviewed especially qualified, one was especially qualified but did not agree about the others. I went back over the board meeting and that wasn't on there. And then it said that I agreed, but that I felt left out. I'm not sure what that was all about. Would like all board BOD members to work together. I believe that that was said at the end of the meeting, but there are just a few things in here. And unfinished business, there wasn't any, but we did cover a few things that were considered unfinished. So is it all right if I give this to Arlene and have it updated?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have made corrections.
Mary. You have to forgive me,
That's okay. I put it paper.
oh yeah. Mary Story Unit 6, on page 4 towards the bottom, where I was speaking with Richard, it says, please explain how your vote choices are not in the best interest. The word not needs to be removed. My question to him was, how are they in the best interest of the residents?
Right, and I have that highlighted.
I also at this time would like to ask that Richard rescind his no vote that you took on the Article 5 in reference to the rescinding of it. That is the article that he ran on. He got put into office based on being a snowbird. So to me, it is a conflict of interest, and I feel he should not have voted on that for the rescinding of it. It should have just been the three of you voting, and he should readjust his vote to an abstain. Thank you. Okay, any other corrections or additions? Richard?
Well, one thing, I don't mind rescinding or whatever, but one thing I don't know if you recall at a previous meeting, Mary Story, it was said that our attorney, and I wasn't on the board at the time, that our attorney said anyone here, whether they were a snowbird or not, could, as long as they own a property, can run for a board member. If you can remember correctly on this. So actually that point is basically mute because I really didn't run as a snowbird in that case.
Mary Story Unit 6. Rich, you most definitely ran as a snowbird because your application was put in after the vote was counted for the new amendment saying that a snowbird or part-time resident, only one would be permitted to run on the board. Your resume was put in November 28th, and that was after the original deadline when Debbie Higgins reopened the vote the next day or 2 days later, submitting the resumes, not votes, after the votes were counted and that amendment was approved. What the attorney has no bearing on what he said has on what I'm asking you to do. You ran based on the extension for a snowbird, and the rescinding of that amendment is what Linda called for. Therefore, you should have excused yourself because you were totally involved in that.
Arlene, On the application, did the application at all say snowbird? No. Correct?
Richard, you have 20.
It was not even updated. correct?
It asked if you're a full-time resident, you had it checked off, no. You had that you're out 26 weeks, and you submitted your resume during the time span when we were only accepting resumes from snowbirds and part-time residents. Trust me, I'm chairperson of the nominating committee. I think I know what I'm talking about.
So are you claiming I should have been able to run?
I'm asking you to rescind your vote. Okay, as far as, they took it as a 2-2.
You need to be up there.
I have said nothing about you not being able to run. What I have asked you is to change and rescind your vote from last meeting because you voted on a subject that was a conflict of interest because of how you ran to be on this board. I have said nothing about whether or not you should be on the board. I'm only talking about your vote from last meeting where you voted on the rescinding of an article that you ran on, and that article is in our bylaws.
I'll look into the legality of it and see.
Arlene, don't we need to approve the minutes with the corrections?
What we can do is we can table the minutes because we don't know what the corrections are gonna be yet. So if somebody wants to make the motion to table the minutes and we'll correct them and then we'll represent them next meeting.
I make a motion, we table the minutes till our next meeting.
Oh, second.
All in favor? Aye. Correspondence. Stated August the 27th, 2024, to the Board of Directors. I am speaking as a resident of Brookridge and as a past board member. My intent is to have good, productive business meetings where information is shared, there is positive discussion, and voting is in the best interest of all residents. This rings true for the majority of residents who voted you into office. The majority of residents do not want to hear the dirty laundry at meetings, and most residents don't like the perception of directors being kept in the dark or the play of gotcha. Most residents want the people they voted into office to get behind the differences and make good decisions. As board members, your packet is given to you at least 2 days before meetings. The obligation of a member of the board is to review her packet and then ask questions before meetings to be informed to give your thoughts and views on any issues. The obligation of the director who is to speak on a topic has the obligation to answer any questions that need clarification and why you feel this positive to the residents. Discussion should start before the meeting so that you are prepared to give your line of persuasion based upon facts. All material that is to be voted on should be in the hands of all directors well before the meeting so that all can do their homework beforehand. Unless there is a good reason, the information could not be gained before the meeting. There were comments regarding choosing new members. If you can't reach a majority A suggestion would be that both sides each pick one director and have 6-member board. This is a lot of work that the board is responsible for until March of 2025. 4 people cannot effectively do this. Another suggestion is to go back to workshops either Monday or Tuesdays, 2 weeks before the business meeting. The purpose would be to have a list of topics. The author of the topic should give the reasons it should be voted on, and then all directors ask questions, request information, and give their views. This way, if it is a valid topic, it will go on the Wednesday business meeting agenda. This gives directors the chance to do their research and come into the meeting ready to have positive discussion, listen to all sides, and vote yes or no. This way, business is done in a cordial manner. The only time there should be an abstention is when a director or his or her family or friends would personally gain. I have no personal agenda. I want to come away from a meeting knowing my board, whether each of you get along or not, can come together for the good of Brookridge. I am open to your thoughts. Sincerely, Gail Metcalf, Unit 6. Our next letter is from Tracy McGumber.
She wants to make a comment on it.
I'm getting requests from you. Can't see her. Gail Metcalf, Unit 6. I had written this letter after, the meetings. It's very unhealthy for people not to get along. We can all have our differences, but I really feel that my thoughts were what many people have talked about. We just want the business to be done, and everybody, don't have to all agree. We can agree to disagree, but not have the infighting. And this isn't new, so, we all know that. I had given this to you a month ago, and I'm wondering if anybody has any thoughts and how you feel about moving forward. And I'm glad that you're having a vote tonight to put more people on the board, because that's, that was an important thing. Does anybody have any questions?
Tracy McGumber. This is dated August the 27th. The Traffic Safety Committee and the Development Committee would like to merge. The new committee will be called the Community Development Committee. The Community Development Community, I think that should be committee, will continue to have the same focus. We look forward to serving our community. Thank you, Chairperson Tracy McGumber. To make any changes, we have to put that on the agenda? No?
It's already done, isn't it, Tracy? Yeah, it's there on board vote. Isn't it done? It's already done. It's already done. We just wanted to put, we just wanted to put this letter out so everybody would officially know. I'm like, SWOT. It is already done, right, Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's done.
And another letter from Tracy dated August the 27th. The Community Development Committee would like to move forward with Hernando County to address the master plan for Brookridge. This process will identify locations for a secondary gate access. We must address the feasibility of location options. The master plan is the first step in moving forward with this project. The Community Development asks for your support in this matter. Thank you, Tracy McGumber, Chairperson, and the Community Development Committee. She had a letter.
Mary Story, Unit 6. My question is actually for Tracy, wherever she might be. I'm a little confused, Tracy. If I'm understanding this letter correctly, you're going to look into a location for putting a gate? I thought the location was already chosen because when we did the paving in here, they widened the roads to make the accessibility if the gate was to be approved and put in. So did we waste this money expanding this road because now you're looking for another location? And I might be totally misunderstanding your letter, but to me, it's just saying you're looking for an option to place the gate, but I thought the place was already chosen.
Tracy McCumber, Unit 2. I'm also the chairperson for the Community Development Committee. To answer your question, Mary, when you address a master plan, we spoke with the county, and any location that would be feasible should be put on this master plan because say in 10 years they need another location, they're not going to have to go back and do all the work we're doing. So there's not a specific location yet. I mean, we have done the Grove Road is our first option. If it doesn't come to fruition, then we have other options so we don't have to go back to the master plan and do this all over again. It's a very lengthy process.
But we spent the money to expand that road, not being sure that we're going to be able to.
It still needs to be used as an emergency exit, so I don't think that's in question. Yeah, but it was in disrepair, so that's why it was repaired as well.
They widened it, they made it wide enough so it could accommodate.
Right, and if that's the case, that is actually our very first option is Grove Road.
Okay.
But again, there's so many stipulations, it's a very lengthy process but the thing is, we're trying to do the community a favor by putting any possible location on the map, and that way we don't have to go back 10 years, 15 years, and then they have to do this. So it's not gonna be anything different than the county just approving, saying, yep, that's great. So if one location doesn't work for some reason, then we have other options, so we don't have to start it all over again.
Okay, I just wanted clarity.
Thank you. Can I just speak real quick while I'm here on my other, okay. I've got an update for the Alliance at the Grove. Can I do that now? The Alliance at the Grove, which is a new project going on out front.
Supposed to be in comments.
Okay, I can wait. Thank you.
Okay, we have another correspondence. Dear Brookridge board members, this was dated September the 11th, 2024. Today I write this letter to ask of the board's approval for me to teach a one-night class per week for residents to have an opportunity to learn how to make resin art. I've been creating and selling my resin artwork for over 5 years. I will supply all the required items needed for the 1.5 hour class for a cost of $25 per person, plus $15 for supplies. Students will take home their projects the next day or at the following class. I would like to keep the number of students per week at 6 once a week, either on a Wednesday or Thursday from 3 to 4:30. I will provide a protective art space for each person, and I will clean up after students leave at the end of each class, as I will leave the room clean and organized. Thank you, Angela Farinelli. Are you here tonight, Angela?
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, I had some questions
Yeah,
too for
I
her.
did too. Being that Angela is not here, I just have two questions on this number. One is, did you get in touch with Patrolman to see if there's availability for the time that she wants it? And also the cost.
Yes, I think we need to table this until she can attend a meeting.
Yes.
Because I'm wondering if this is a business, and we didn't allow that physical therapy company because that was a business, correct?
And that's another thing too, if it is, which we don't know, if that's the case, then you would charge for them to use the facilities, but I think our calendar is really filled up. So or you guys will table this and see if Angela will come to the next meeting so that we can address this with her.
So I make a motion to table Angela Farinelli, her request for 1 night a week class on resin art until we find out more information about it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Millie, move your mic a little closer.
Okay.
Next one's my topic. My agenda.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's weird, because mine stayed together. I've got them molded.
Yeah, but if you go by the agenda.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
President's report.
Okay, usually the president will have something to report. I can say that, the board has been working on, quite a few projects. One Richard will address is the gatehouse and some other, projects that we're working on. I just want to let you know that, we don't stop. We're busy doing something every day. Phone calls and making calls to vendors, and Catherine and Linda and Richard. Everybody is working along very well, and I'm really happy about it. And now there's continuity, and we can get things done the way they should be done. And again, I thank you for your support and that's right. Linda.
Treasurer's report. Everybody's been asking when I'm gonna have treasurer's reports. I'm happy to announce there's May, June, July, and August are all complete. There's copies up here, and they will be on the website tomorrow. I will go over the August. Our opening balance, August the 1st, per the bank statement at Brandon Bank, $85,773.86. Operating at Edward Jones, $211,000. Operating at Capital City Bank, $7,230. Operating at Truist Bank, $2,770. Operating at Regions Bank, $2,600. We have what's called a sweep account at Brandon Bank. There's $20,129.42. We have a money market at Brandon Bank that's operating. And it is $146,295.47. Interest for the month on our operating accounts, $919.59. Year-to-date interest on our operating accounts, $12,272.25. Our assessments collected in the month of August, $142,091.50. Fines, $550. Late fees, $15. Estoppel fees, $2,390. Pool pass, $250. Barcodes and plates, $25. Mowing, $900. News and views, $9,710. Screening, $2,375. Other income, $1,824.47. For a total of what's in our operating accounts and income taken in for the month of August, that totals $636,849.31. For the month of August, administration expenses, $37,432.44. Facilities, $28,105.07. And I got a typo there, I just noticed. Public Works was $29,217.01. Code enforcement, $49,435.71. Total expenses, $407,190.23. We have used 65% of our budget. Reserve accounts, Capital City, we have $143,194.88. Truist Bank, $204,095.27. Bank OZK, $249,309.71. Regions Bank, $208,516.54. Edward Jones, we have $1,286,000. Bank OZK, $107,756.94. Our total year-to-date interest on our reserve accounts, $58,590.31. Spectrum funds at Brandon Bank, $400,551.78. Edward Jones, $492,000. And the interest we've made off the Spectrum money year to date, $10,102.49. Donated funds, we have $30,914.25. Deposit was made of $786. Paid out was $613.19 for an ending balance in donated funds of $31,087.06. And there's copies up here.
Nice.
Okay, we come to the gatehouse mold remediation. The analysis for the mold guys, mold fungi assessment was a big to-do. The protocol for fixing all the issues for the mold is very extensive. I had 3 companies come out. Per the mold guys, they recommended one company, but I had water damage pros, damage recovery restoration, and dry me out. and dry me out was the one recommended by the mold guys, saying that they have the best record on having the remediation done correctly and the post-inspection, passing post-inspections. So, and their price was quite a bit better than everybody else's. My proposed motion to approve Dry Me Out's proposal for gatehouse remediation of work in the amount of $4,500. This money will be taken from reserves from the gatehouse. Do I have a second on
I
this?
second that.
Any discussion?
Just that, Richard, we met with the company today. And what's gonna happen is that, Peter and Lee from Code Enforcement, they were gonna start getting some, boxes to start getting the paperwork and all the files out of the gatehouse to start cleaning it out. And, hopefully by the weekend, we'll have it where it should be, all cleaned out and ready for the company sometime next week to come in. We're also going to be renting what's called a construction utility trailer so that the personnel will be able to, keep out of the elements, rain and whatever, while this building is being done. This has been talked about for the last 10, 15 years, and you can't keep talking about it, you gotta do something about it. So we took the bull by the horns. Richard was kind enough to get us all the quotes. We went down there today to see exactly what the company is going to do. And once it's all finished, then we will figure out, the building is 50 years old, but it's in pretty good shape as far as the concrete walls and everything. So we're gonna see what it's gonna do, but there's probably gonna be some things in there that will have to be replaced because of the mold issues. Well, if we have $100,000, we probably could. Well, I understand, we've talked about, we kind of like breezed through this before, but we're gonna take care of this mold first. This is important. This has been going on for how many years and nobody's ever really acknowledged it. So, you gotta take first things first. As far as a new building, that's a whole nother discussion.
And maybe Linda Wells or Mary Story would know how much money is in the reserves for the gatehouse for next year or whatnot.
I didn't
That could be
bring the
put
reserve
towards-
study with me tonight, Richard.
But you're saying about 16,000?
That's what we kind of looked at, it was possibly 16, but that's no guarantee, I don't have my book in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know the figures, so
Your
there's
guesstimation
not
is,
enough in there, it can tell you to build a home.
To build a
Right.
new one.
no, but
No.
I'm saying to do major improvements.
We're gonna have to see what they are.
Have to see what they are. Hopefully we'll have the money to do it, renovate it inside, since they're tearing it all apart. Because we don't have any bids for any of that.
You would think though, for our reserve, there's supposed to be a formula that we follow to make sure that we keep things up to date, things.
We do a research study that tells us what we need to allocate.
What we do a reserve study that allocates what portion of the money goes to this, what portion goes to that, and we abide by what they have down on the reserve study.
Okay, so can I just speak out loud for a minute here, because I'm understanding that if there was money that was allocated to a particular project or a repair or a renovation, and it wasn't utilized, that it is still in the reserves to be utilized. Is that correct? For that project. So when you go back through the board meetings and you go back through the minutes, we have more than enough to definitely replace the whole building. I'm not saying that we should do that, but there's enough that was put out there that was never spent. And there's no line of what was spent.
But
So am I not-
that money has to stay in line item in that category.
Right, but isn't that money still in there to be allocated for the gatehouse?
Once it's allocated to a certain line item,
It has to be used.
it
for
has
the
to be
line item.
used for that line item.
Yes, we can't take that money and use it for something else.
Right, so if that line item wasn't utilized, then it stays in the reserves, correct?
Right.
So can we go
Say-
back and rescind that at some point?
No,
No,
So it doesn't make it old business or unfinished business, it's just money that's left.
money that was.
right, because let's say in the admin office, I think it was on there that they were supposed to replace the ceilings. That wasn't done this year, but maybe we're gonna do it next year, so that money has to stay
For the ceiling.
for that ceiling. If it's for windows, it's gotta stay, even though we didn't use it a particular year.
Okay.
They decided, well, we don't need it this year, but maybe next year we will. So that money has to stay in that line item to go for what it's specified for.
Okay, so I think my question was just, what happens to that reserve money that was allocated for the gatehouse? Where does it go if it's not on a line item? I mean, does it just revert back to the reserves?
Now, everything's got a line item. The gatehouse is broke down in like the doors to be replaced or,
So if you gave a guesstimate of what was on the gatehouse line, and it was $16,000
for renovation.
for
Right.
renovation, and if you find something that is for $41,000 in the back board meetings that was never allocated to that, what happens to that $41,000?
Everything in the reserve study is allocated.
Okay, so there's a line item for that $41,000.
Yeah, that $41,000, it could have been for the floor in the clubhouse or something.
Okay.
But you
just
can't
making
go
sure.
from,
No.
you can't take money from gatehouse to clubhouse or line item, whatever the reserve study specifies, that's what's got to be used for.
Correct. I just wanted to make sure that if that $41,000 was for the gatehouse renovations, and those renovations were not complete, that money still
It's
sits
still
in
there,
reserves.
but right now, it's just showing,
That's all I needed to know. I just wanted to make sure that as I'm adding up these things, I'm adding them up right. That's all. Thank you.
Mira Star Unit 6. Rich, at the town hall meeting, I had asked you about looking into insurance. Did you have the opportunity to do that? Insurance coverage?
Arlene?
Well, there is insurance coverage.
Whose insurance?
Our insurance to cover the mold. We got verification on,
That was Linda was supposed to.
no, I had asked you.
Arlene took it over.
Right, Arlene.
Right.
I took it over, excuse me, Mary. I contacted our insurance agent, Colin is his name, and he said, yes, we don't have specific mold coverage, but there is, again, a line item in our insurance that it will be covered. He asked how much, I said, I don't know, I mentioned the $4,500, just for the remediation and then others, but he said he will put the claim through. He said it could be possible that some of the water that came in was from wind, and we do have wind coverage. So what they do is the whole process, some of you are insurance agents, you know that, it's a whole process. And he's gonna file the claim and then it's gonna go to underwriting.
Okay, then is that also with the cutting on all the destruction of everything, that includes some putting it back to a good condition, working condition?
I did tell him, right now, the only figure we have is tentatively the $4,500 for the remediation. And I did indicate to him that, yes, we will have to put it back together, and of course, that'll be more money. So, but it is in the process, it hasn't been started.
Thank you, Arlene.
And my question that I have is, when you're putting a claim with an insurance company, they generally want to see A, B, C, D before they approve the claim. So if we're going to start ripping apart the gatehouse, do we need to first check with them as to the proper protocol to follow so that down the road, this claim is not considered null and void and we lose out on the possibilities of payments? Any money we can get towards this, but I think a phone call to find out before we start ripping it apart to see if they need to come out. When I had my work done due to damage for rain, the inspector from the insurance company had to come out and see it first. We need to submit an estimate to them as to what the restoration is gonna be after the fact. So I think we need, and I understand the urgency of taking care of the building and removing the molds. But if we're looking to put a claim in for this, we need to also be sure we're doing it in the proper protocol.
Richard, I see on their bid that they're licensed. Are they insured and bonded? There's nothing on their paperwork that says they are.
They told me that they were, so.
Because we would need a certificate of insurance and a copy of their bond.
And Arlene, are you going to send to the insurance company, the mold guys, report?
Tomorrow I can send him, she's taking notes for me. I'll send him the report from the mold guys, and then if you want, I can send him this.
And will they cover the unit, this mobile office that we're
I
in?
can check. I mean, that just got presented to us today about the mobile office, but I'll check tomorrow as well.
But are they
Okay.
checking the rest before we start ripping it apart?
I'm sorry, what, Mary?
Can you check into the rest of it before we start ripping the
Of course,
building
yeah.
apart?
I told
We
you
have to
first
send
thing
an
tomorrow.
adjuster and something so we don't miss out.
Right. I think so, before.
So we've got a motion, we've got a second.
Hold on.
Right? For the $4,500.
Right, we have a motion and a second.
Richard made a motion.
Richard made a motion.
And I
Can we
seconded
open it for
it.
discussion?
Yes.
Do we need to table this until we find out about the insurance company?
Well, you already said that he's putting off starting it for at least 14 days, correct?
Right.
Well, don't you think 14 days is enough time to find the information out from the
I
insurance
don't know. You know how they move down here.
company? Well,
No, they go.
then I guess, we're gonna put this back another month again.
No.
It's, you're the president, Billy.
I think we need to table it until we get all the answers.
Well, the price is a good price. Why can't we approve the price and just hold off on doing it?
If it doesn't matter, the money goes back.
Right.
Hello, excuse me.
Yeah.
Can't you approve it tonight? It's not like they're coming out tomorrow and writing a check. Approve it tonight. We'll follow up with the insurance.
Yes.
And then at least this way, say in 2 weeks, we have everything in place. I'm being optimistic with 2 weeks. But if we have everything in place, okay, we have it approved, mold guys, dry me out, whoever, let's move forward.
Because we can always put them off a little bit longer, right, if we need
Yeah,
to,
not-
Yeah, they said they would.
right?
Yes, they said they'd work with us. So all those in favor? Aye.
I,
Motion was
based on making sure the insurance is gonna cover everything.
They need to make a motion that none of the money's gonna be spent till we check out the insurance.
Oh, okay. So it has to be, the motion has to be amended. It has to
Yes.
state, motion to approve driving out to proposal for gatehouse remediation of work in the amount of $4,500. This money will be taken out of reserves from the gatehouse. And this is pending the insurance,
The insurance company's approval of
the
the work.
insurance company's approval of. Right.
My name is up there.
And don't we need to get some estimates on renovating too? Will the insurance company require that?
Yeah, but we're gonna have to approve that after.
But the insurance company's gonna need some.
Well, we'll have to get contractors out for estimates for that. That's a different subject than.
It's still the gatehouse.
Well, yeah, but it's a different subject on the gatehouse.
Yeah, it is. All right, Gail's, yes, she's on.
Yes.
Yes.
Gail Metcalf, Unit 6. Your vote tonight should be to say yes to the renovation, to the mold. Whether the insurance company takes care of it or not, it's still an ongoing issue. Why should it depend on if the insurance company will accept it? Because we still have to address it. What I would do, I was in the insurance business years ago, I would make sure I take pictures of everything. Peter, you guys will do that. I know you guys will do that. And then get somebody down here and.
That's what I understood. Arlene was gonna get a hold of the agent so they could come out and.
And they're a really good agency, so I think that they'll be out this week. But it doesn't have to be pending the insurance because we have to pay for it anyway. And the insurance company can always reimburse.
Okay,
Okay, so we're all good.
are we all good?
Oh, good.
We're all good. I didn't say anything that really.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, topic, fee schedule, lot mowing charge. Analysis, lot mowing charge, annual, vacant lots only. Recommendation, starting in 2025, the annual fee to mow vacant lots will increase to a rate of $500 annually. Motion to increase the mowing charge to $500 annually starting January 1st, 2025. Do I have a second?
We have a second.
Open for discussion?
Yeah, Vivian? Yes.
First, the board members.
Well, first we have any discussion up here?
Yeah, I want to know about this, I don't mind doing the $500 annual fee, but, I have since then looked into a couple of the different lawn mowing services that we have in here, and we can subcontract that out and still make half and a little bit over. So our machines are not being destroyed. So I'm thinking that, and I was hoping Vince would be in here somewhere, but, I don't have a problem with the $500, but I still believe that we need to subcontract this work out because I think that we shouldn't have to pay for equipment in order to be able to cover these empty lots.
Okay.
We just have to make sure they're licensed, bond, and insured.
All right, why would we want to subcontract? First of all, we're raising it so that we don't cut these lots. We only cut the lots that belong to BCPL, which was for years ago. I pay for my lot next door, and there's 20 to 30 landscapers that are in here every day on everybody's street. All I'm going to do, it's not that I don't want to pay the $500, but we're talking about wear and tear to these mowers, and this goes down, and this goes, the repairs and stuff. Find out the people that are cutting on your street. Find out how much they charge for cutting the lot, because that's what I'm gonna do. Because our guy cuts my own lot, but then I'm gonna find out how much he's gonna charge for the lot next door. We're not in the lawn cutting business, and anyone that has lots that need to be cut, they're gonna have to, my opinion is just find out one of these landscapers in here who cuts on your street and how much do they charge. It's as simple as that. And our guys, there's 3 guys in public works, and between the retention ponds and the lots that belong to BCPL, and there are lots in here that they're cutting that belong to organizations and corporations. So you know what? Letters are gonna go out to everyone to let them know that if this is approved, it's gonna be put on the ballot, right, in November. Is that right or no?
No, we
No.
can just.
Okay, we're gonna do it, and letters, will go out to all those that, use our services now to let them know, okay, come January 1st, the lot is gonna, to cut is $500, and we would suggest,
It's still not enough money.
well, you gotta start somewhere.
Tell them you're not gonna do it anymore, let them figure it out. What everybody else does.
That's what I'm saying, let them get their own people like everybody else.
It's not, in my church.
Yeah.
Take motion, stop it. No.
All right.
It's a waste of our equipment, our resources, and our
Exactly,
people.
exactly. I mean, these cost a lot of money to keep these mowers going. Vince, what's your thoughts
Is
on
it an
that?
issue with the amount of money that we're charging?
No.
Is it too less or too more, too much? Or then make a motion to amend it to $2,000.
Make a motion and then don't do it at all.
Either that.
Don't do it at all.
Make a motion to alleviate from the fee schedule. Put it back on the owner, the lot owner's responsibility.
Vince, the whole idea though is to not have you or your men do the mowing of those lots.
Yes.
Only our stuff. That's the point of this.
I understand. So if you want to get rid of it, just make a motion to
Motion to do
remove
away
it from
with
the fee schedule and we won't do it no more.
We can still make money off of it.
No.
We can still make money off of it.
Then if you want to make it to where we're not doing it, then make, say, $1,000 a year. Okay? And make a motion to make it for $1,000. I guarantee it, no one's gonna pay $1,000 to mow their lots twice, once a month.
But we have to make sure the lots are maintained in here.
And that's a matter of the homeowner's responsibility to make sure they're being maintained. Now, mind you, your forced mow, okay, for empty lots could be raised to $2,000. Whatever you want to pick a number, you can do that. If they're this tall, how long do you think it's gonna take me to cut it? A couple hours? An hour? Now, mind you, that when you mow a lot that's, 2.5, 3 feet tall, okay, I gotta worry about the adjacent properties too. Okay, I can't get any stuff or any clippings on their property, because it's gonna be all weeds and high brush. So, these are things that, right now, the four of you can decide, either just get rid of forced mows, or we have to leave that there, raise that amount of money, and get rid of mowing the empty lots, period. It's totally up to you four and how you guys want. You want to table it to next meeting and talk about it? That's fine.
Okay, I'd like to amend. All right, go ahead, Vivian, I'm sorry. We're getting into this.
I agree with all that everyone's saying. My question was, how much is it worth doing these? First of all, they should be doing their own. I have to do my own. They should do their own. Everybody else has to do their own. And is it worth anything? I mean, if, with the wear and tear on our people, on our machinery, let them do their own. With the little bit of money that we're getting, it can't be worth what we're putting out.
Like,
You're right.
beginning of the season, I'll say in May or June, okay, I had 15 properties to do. Right now, I've got 28 or 29. Those have come in, okay? But there are also one or two properties we shouldn't be doing, okay? And we already took the money, we're already obligated to do it. Next year, we won't be doing it, all right? So my goal here as the supervision of public works and the clubhouse is to maintain the properties up to your standards. Okay, up to a professional standard to where they're always mowed and they're always kept clean and they're always looking great for you residents to appreciate what we have. Okay, that's my mission. Okay, make the medians look nice, Yes, they're not looking the greatest. Yes, it's not up to my standard, but it will be next year and the years following. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of work to get them leveled out and maintained. With the amount of people that I have, I can't do it. Okay, there's only 3 of us, okay, and it takes me a couple hours to mow lots and to mow ponds that are so difficult to mow, all right? It just takes a lot of time to get this stuff done.
And for
Okay,
that
but-
reason alone, we should stop it. Let them
And-
get it their own.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, okay, I agree with you. I mean, mowing empty lots is just, it's, right now, it's not, there's no benefit from it. Because you're looking at between $6,000 and $8,000 a year to get it done, but I might be spending $3,000 or $4,000 to maintain the machinery just to get that done. So you're not making any money. You're just putting wear and tear on the equipment for nothing. Before, back in the 80s and 90s, they were doing 300-400 lots. Okay, now it's a moneymaker. Okay, but they also have more people. Okay, as we built the township up, the community, everybody's paying their own way. All right, but see, some properties, that we have, they're not owned by residents, they're owned by trustees or banks, whatever, okay? But now you're looking at a different issue, just kind of, we're not doing no more, you gotta find your own people. Now when a forced smoke comes up, charge them $1,000. That's easy, it's simple, because that way they'll make sure that every time I go to mow that lot, it's gonna charge me $1,000. It's not $1,000 for the year, it's $1,000 per mow.
Maybe I need to ask Paul.
It might seem unreasonable to right now, but if I take over a forced mow, okay, before they were charging them $200 or $175 for a forced mow, okay, and they took it over for the rest of the season. Now is that you making any money there? Okay, I got properties over on Sandhurst and one up on Scepter and one on Morelli. That we have to mow because, one came in and these 2 forced mows, we have to maintain them, okay? One guy's in the hospital somewhere and they can't find him. We still have to maintain it for the property owners that are next to him. They live across the street from him, right?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Gail Metcalf.
That's where I'm worried about as a resident, 'cause I wouldn't want to live across the street from that either.
And that's what I come to.
Well,
We have to remember, but I just want to, and then I'll sit down. We just want to remember that, these people are not, let them mow their own lawns. The thing is that, have you driven around this neighborhood? We have a lot of houses that they're doing that. I like the idea of, but you have to watch out for the laws, how much we can charge them for each one. And I have no problem going up $500 for a forced mow. And then and if you could get a company to come in and do it, and then and you don't have to wait till next year. We just won't do it at all.
Right.
Well, you won't have to worry about how much we're gonna charge. Okay, then what happens with the forced mows? Forced mows, then
The
we're gonna
forced
have,
mowers will,
forced mows you have to charge. Well, I would ask how much you can legally charge them and do the maximum.
Do we fine any people for not mowing their lawns here?
oh, yes.
So do we get money?
Well, it
Finding
depends.
these people?
We don't get.
Okay, so I'll use myself as an example, okay? I own 2 properties here, okay? One next door to each other. So I'm all alone, okay? And I go into the hospital. I go into the hospital, and I have to go into rehab, okay? And I'm over there for 2.5 months, and I go in there and say June 15th, okay? And I was mowing my own lawn, okay? Well, I'm at a point where I can't talk to people because either I had a stroke or whatever, okay? And up till August, okay, Peter's trying to call me, say, where are you at? Your lawn's getting way overgrown, so I have to force mow you. okay? But he can't contact me, okay? And I can't talk to him or call him back. Now it comes up with, okay, we charge you, what's on the books, you get an invoice, okay? When you don't pay that invoice, you get a late fee. When you don't pay that late fee, you get no late fee, okay? We got to play it as it goes, okay? All right? And I understand where Porty's coming from. He's doing a great job out there. He gives me slips and I go out and mow them, okay? But there's a process on how this is handled, okay? I take care of lots, Peter takes care of the houses, okay? So, you know, when we go do a lot, when we go do a house, a forced mow, you know, we cut the grass, we weed back, we blow everything off, okay, just like everybody else does. But my equipment is a lot different than the normal guys that are cutting grass, okay? These are $50,000 mowers, okay, you know what I'm saying? And I'm able to cut high stuff, but if I go out and cut a lawn that's 2.5, a foot and a half, or 2 feet tall, do you realize how much grass there is left over? You also have to keep in count for the 2 houses on each side and the people across the street to make sure it's not. It doesn't look bad.
Can I jump in here for a minute?
Go ahead, Pete.
So everything that Vince is saying is absolutely correct, and he just made it a perfect scenario, which we did run into that scenario this week. We had a resident that we contacted. What we do is we give out the force mows. We go down, we send our code enforcement out there. They see a yard that has grass is high, per se, and we take pictures of it. We get the address down. We go back to the office, and we print up a profile sheet on that address, and we give it to May at the front desk. She makes a call. They have a 5-day period, okay, on the force mows. We give them a call, okay? And that call constitutes, whether we leave a message or not, that call constitutes as a notification to the resident. If the resident doesn't answer, we leave a message, fine, okay? Once we leave the message, we wait 5 days. On the 6th day, we contact the property owner again. If there still is no answer, then we go down and we do a forced mow. Vince's issue is that he has no problem doing empty lots. It's when we do a residence where there's a house, like Vince says, he doesn't know what's in that yard. He's out there mowing with a very expensive piece of equipment, and he chops up, let's say somebody got a tire rim laying in there that's in 2 feet of grass, you don't see it. He goes over that thing, he tears up the blades or the gears on that tractor. Guess what? That's a big investment to fix, okay? My thing was that what we should have done was get an outside contractor that we can have that they would do force mows. If we get a force mow, they would go out and do the property for us and then send us the bill. Okay, this is what we were trying to present. So that's our perspective. This is equipment. The outside contractors out there, like I said, yes, they should be licensed and insured in order for them. And we will make sure that will happen if it's okay to do that. So that's where we're going with it. We had properties where we tried to contact property owners. There was an incident this week. There was nowhere to contact. We called the number, nothing. There's no one answering the phone. The phone doesn't even exist. How do we contact that property owner? Well, let's look for next of kin. Guess what? There's nothing there. We have no way to contact certain property owners. There are a lot of homeowners here that are in that situation. Nobody's updating their information to us. And we have asked before, and I'm asking again, please, come into the office and get your information updated. If you change your phone number or you change whoever your next of kin is, you need to let us know, because God forbid, something happens to you, you're living in a house and you're home alone, and something happens to you and we find you, guess what? We have no way of contacting someone who's going to be able to answer for you. All right. We have come across many instances where we have gone to the house and we have done a wellness check on there, and we go to the house, we knock, no response. Usually that's not a good sign. We walk around the house, knock on the windows, knock on the doors, no response. Okay, and then next thing you know, we call the sheriff's department because we have no next of kin to contact. So the sheriffs come down, they do a check to see if anyone's in the hospital or on a cruise. They actually do check cruises to see if they're on cruises, nursing homes or anything like that. If there's nothing, the sheriff's department will breach the house. There has been incidences where the sheriffs have gone into the house, and this is just recently, where a woman was laying on the floor in her bedroom. She fell. She was laying there for 3 days. Okay, this could be your relative, could be your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, laying in that house, all right? And what's gonna happen if we don't get there in that 3-day period and it takes longer, you know where that's gonna end. So all I'm saying is that we need updates on everybody's phone numbers and next of kin. And getting back to the force modes, we need to get that situation corrected as well. Thank you.
I make a motion to amend this stating effective immediately, January 1st, 2025. No BCP mowing to vacant lots and no forced mows.
Well, we gotta do forced mows,
On
but you gotta raise the number on it.
the force mode?
Yeah, you gotta raise the number on it.
Well, what is it now?
I think it's 300.
300?
Well, listen,
Pay the contractor to mow, and we need to pay the bank to make the phone call, Peter for doing what he's got to do, let's charge him $1,000, and then we'll pay the phone company what they get. It's money too.
Well, I still feel that, everyone that utilizes our services now, like I do, and so many others, come January, basically get somebody.
Well, the vacant lots we're gonna eliminate.
The
We're
vacant-
talking about the forced mows.
mow.
Okay, we said 500, we said 1,000, so let's make it forced mows 750.
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, first of all, we have to do this other one first. Okay, on the amendment to the motion to charge, $500 annually, I'd like to change this, amend it. No mowing after January 1st, 2025 by BCPO employees. Our supervisors are.
For vacant lots. For vacant lots.
Vacant lots. So it's gonna give those, because usually we pay it like a year, like until next March, whenever that comes up. You have between now and next year to get yourself somebody, landscaper there, God only knows, there's a lot of them in here. Find out how much they charge. In all fairness, I mean, you keep doing it and doing this, but we're not getting ahead. He loses machinery. And then every year he gets more and more lots because nobody wants to mow their lots. So you know what? That's it. You have enough to do. So I would like to amend this from not being $500 to as of January 1st, 2025. No mowing
Of vacant lots.
of vacant lots. And $750 for a forced mow.
Per mow.
Per mow. That's a lot. Per mow? No, I think, no, I would think $750 per year. You can't do this per mow.
Per mow.
Per what?
Per mow.
Per
Per
mow.
mow. What, Richard?
I think we have to really think about that. I think we should table it and, come up with a reasonable thing, just, well, you don't want to,
Okay, the original was for lot mowing of vacant lots. Let's stick with that, and at our next meeting, discuss the forced mowing and come up with a reasonable fee on that.
Okay, so we are amending this one here for 500 as of January 1st of next year. BCPO will no longer be mowing lots,
Lots.
vacant lots.
Lots.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, the only thing is, Arlene, with those, or even Peter, well, I don't know if he, well, Vince, you would have the addresses that you mow right now, right? Okay, so when you get time, can you give those addresses to Arlene and the office staff?
What they got?
Okay, to get a letter out to all those that, okay, so that they'll know on January 1st of next year, that's it. Actually, we pay from March to March, so, yeah. I pay till March with BCPO, but what's that? All right, so that's Richard, everything good? Okay.
Next on the agenda, the 2025 budget and reserves. The board was presented with the 2025 budget and reserves and deed restriction amendment at last meeting. Approved the 2025 budget and reserves, deed restriction amended as submitted. The finance committee got on the phone, talked to each other, and they are pulling the amendment for the capital contributions from the budget. So the only thing to vote on will be the budget and the reserves. I make a motion to approve the 2025 budget and reserves as submitted for membership vote.
Do you have a second?
Richard, we have. I'll second it. Discussion?
Discussion? The finance committee worked hard on this budget and made several changes to reduce the HOAs for 2025. But as we all know, inflation has affected every walk of life. Think of Brookridge as being a big family, and Brookridge has to go shopping every week for supplies, pool chemicals, gas, diesel for the trucks, and equipment to mow and keep the grounds looking nice. Plus all the maintenance on the equipment to keep Brookridge running, utility bills, and let's not forget all the employees that work for us. If the budget does not pass for 2025 at the board level, then the residents will have no budget to vote on, and Brookridge will be forced to operate on the 2024 budget. If that occurs, services will have to be cut. Clubhouse, swimming pool, admin office, code enforcement, everything will have to be cut in order to operate. If the board approves the budget, then the budget goes to the residents to vote on the budget. And again, if the residents do not approve it, then the same thing, will be forced to cut. I'm not threatening, it's true facts. You can call it a threat. Are you going to help pay for everything if the budget doesn't pass? Where is that? I just told you where it's at. but we can only use $64,000 a year of that. Yes,
Okay, so it's out.
it's our money, but we can only use it a percentage. It's over 10 years. The contract was 10
You
years.
got the money already. So it's in your pocket, so we can.
No. 64,000 a year after taxes. And and the finance committee took that into consideration on the budget, that we had an extra $64,000. I can't do that until the board votes.
So if I have this correct, we're approving it without the new board members that I thought we were gonna show them packets of this. And that's what's confusing me right now, because I want them to look at it also. But what you're saying is, if we approve it, we're not approving the increase, other than we're suggesting it.
We're approving the budget to go to vote to the residents.
So it's not automatically
No.
that it will have the increase.
No, the members vote for it.
So,
We've just got to approve it to put it on the ballot and get it out to the residents to vote on.
okay, so we don't need another set of eyes to look at it as far as anybody's concerned. Okay, so I don't have a problem with it, as long as the members get.
They're the ones that get the final vote.
Right,
We're just voting that it goes out to them to vote on.
then I have no.
I made a motion.
You made a motion, second?
You already made it.
All in favor?
Billy, you already made it. All in favor?
Aye.
Are you voting on the budget? Well, we were just taking a vote.
That would be a no.
Huh?
What's the result?
3-1. The amount that they proposed after going over the figures, I don't know how many times, they will go up to $55 a month. 54. I was trying to make an extra dollar for Brookridge.
I got a question for you too. They say, how can you approve the budget without the audit? And when was the last audit completed?
Okay, I did talk to the auditor. He finally got everything they needed. He told me this morning when I talked to him that it's in final draft, and then he will review it, and then they will be sending us a draft. He hopes to have it to us by the end of the week, in the next week. 22 and 23.
So the last.
The last audit,
Was 21?
21,
21 was a completed audit. Incomplete?
incomplete, because they use the figures from 2020, and nobody went after them at that point.
So nothing has been reconciled.
Go ahead.
Please get up, Mary.
I'm gonna get you a bar stool for over there, but we have to.
Richard, the audit from 2021, two of the departments had the identical figures to the 2020 audit to the penny. So that audit could not really count to be accurate or anything else. We had asked them to please go back after them. We paid $10,000 for that audit. Nothing was done for them to see if we could recoup any of the money of it. Okay?
Or to correct the audit.
22 and 23 is being done now for the simple reason that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, they were not able to close out the years because of inaccuracy in line items, the allocating to incorrect departments. So it's taken a long time. And by law, and again, correct me, Linda, if I'm wrong, but by law, the development has to be presented a budget every year.
Every year.
To answer Vince's question. So it's an entirely tough job to do. The finance committee does the best it can with what we're given to work with. But yeah, it's a problem. It's a major problem.
It's been a problem for several years.
Longer than that. No, you don't have to, but the thing is.
So Arlene will be submitting this to the printer, or Patrona will, tomorrow morning, so News and Views may be a few days late. Any questions?
I actually have a question. Is the firm, do we have access to the auditor's information, not to what they've done or what they haven't done? Do we have access to their contract with us, and are we still contracted with an auditor?
Arlene?
The contract we signed was for them to do the 22 and 23 audit and the 2023 taxes.
Okay, because the auditing contract, it ended in 2024 December. 2023 in December. So what
Is that the
auditing
auditor?
firm are we working with?
Affinity?
Well, they're working without a contract then. And I'm just kind of wondering, shouldn't we be updating that or working more closely with them?
I think you're talking about the CPA.
No?
Jones?
No, I'm talking about if it says on it, auditing firm. So the contract said that it ran out in December of 2023. So I'm kind of wondering if it ran out, shouldn't we be updating that and making sure that we move forward?
Well, as far as 2024, I think we're going to be shopping around for a new auditor to do our final audits.
Okay, that was it. I just wanted to make sure of what they were actually contracted to do before it ran out. Do you have a question?
We changed. This was the first year using them, using this company. So maybe it was the company from last year.
Okay, well, I don't have that contract. I was the one from 2020 ended.
We switched to, they went to a different company.
Different company.
Well, is it on file? Okay. Correct.
So the 23
one.
one that ended never did the 22 one.
According to what we've seen.
Audit.
Right.
Never did the 20.
So if there was a contractual agreement,
I don't know what the contract says, I didn't see the contract, I just know what was done and what years it was done.
is that better? Yeah, okay. I'm not cracking up so much.
Okay, so, just to put things in perspective, garbage in goes in this garbage out, right?
Right.
All right, so back in, say, 2016, 2017, 2018, you have an audit, okay? And the books are going through there. March, we have a CPA, okay? Everything goes through. And March 15th, goes to the auditor. 2 months later, comes back May 15th, okay? The GM submits his budget to the finance committee with the audit, okay? They do the audit, goes to budget vote, it gets passed, you go with it. Last 4 or 5 years, we haven't had an audit to even go with the finance committee. So now I gotta start at zero. If you don't have nothing to work with, you gotta go with zero.
Okay, but the problem with starting at zero is that you don't know what you're starting with. That's like me running my checking account with a zero balance starting it. Good Lord, I can go crazy. You know, I mean,
That's what's
but the
That's
other
what's
thing
happened in
is,
the past couple of years, that you were to start with zero.
right,
Okay, I could be wrong, but I mean, we started with zero 3 years ago, okay?
Right.
Last year we started with zero, the year before that we started with zero, and then this year we'll start with zero. Until we fix the issue, it's always gonna be zero.
okay, well, I just think that we should start with something other than a zero. You know, we should have an amount to start with, and zero is not a good thing to start with.
We
So
agree.
in all good faith, in all good conscience, I don't feel comfortable, me voting in a budget that starts out with a zero balance from last year when I don't know what it was. So I can't, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not doing it. So,
You're just voting for it to go on the
right,
ballot.
well, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to have any part of it. Right.
Catherine, the finance committee has the same issue as you're stating. We are not comfortable being able to do this. We can only do and get a bottom line number as to what we're getting from the administration office. We're not comfortable with it. But by law, there has to be a budget. And if the audit cannot be complete because the records were not accurate enough for the audit department to complete the audit, and the CPA was not able to close out the year till, what, a month or two ago, Linda?
Just a couple weeks ago.
Okay, we only closed out 23. The audit can't be completed until the CPA closes out the year. She only did that a few weeks ago. And we are required by law to present a budget. So is it a guesstimate? Yeah, you want to call it that? But we have to do the best possible we can. And to be truthful with you, we've done this for the past couple of years. And lo and behold, we've been able to keep everything open and running.
Now, Catherine, just to put things in perspective, okay? I'll take the pool, for example, okay? When I first got here in 2015, acid was $1.40 a gallon, okay? Each year, 2016, 2017, it stayed at $1.40, okay? Then up north, they had a cold spell, they had a chlorine issue, now it jumped to $2.50, okay? Now it's at $9 a jug, okay? Almost a 100% increase, okay? So I told Mary that when we do the budget, next year, this time, it might be $15 for a jug. So, and I asked her, I said, please put in something in there, and what we're paying now, put an inflation factor into it, okay? That way, we're not looking bad on the books, okay? Or, okay, so come time November, I don't have any more money in the chlorine bid, do I shut the pool down? I can't do that, right? All right, so it's all relevant.
I don't debate that at all.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just curious as to why haven't things been balancing out at all? I don't quite understand, you know. If
It
things
goes back
balanced
for
out,
years,
if things
Richard.
balanced out,
Huh?
you wouldn't have this problem. So
It goes
what
back
has
for
been,
years.
what has been missed or not put in?
I hate to say it.
Or
But it's sloppy bookkeeping.
Okay, but that's already been, we've already voted, and everything is all done.
We've got everything, line items of everything that we get, we spend, we receive, everything, incoming, outgoing, and we can never.
Somebody ready? Stop. Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the forensic audit. Yeah. There have been many requests for a forensic audit from the community. Recommendation, add an item to the ballot to let the membership vote if they wish to have a forensic audit conducted.
I'll second that.
Discussion, I guess. You had given, this microphone is not very good. You had given prices from a few different auditing firms at
Yes,
the last meeting.
yes, and there's gonna be, just let me explain something, Richard, I didn't get finished here. This will have to be a two-step vote. First, the residents will have to vote whether or not they want a forensic audit. It's too late to get it on the budget for 2025. So we'll have to get new bids from the different companies at the beginning of the year and have a second item on the ballot in March in regards to the forensic audit, giving you the names and their prices for doing the audit, the number of years back they're going, and give you an idea how much that will increase your HOAs just for the forensic audit. So that they can build that into the budget to be presented next year. That's the only way, and the residents will have the vote on that. It will not be a board decision. It will be up to the residents whether they want to have the forensic audit and how much it's gonna cost and raise their HOA fees. So you will be the determining factor on how much it's gonna be. It could range anywhere from, the one guy said for 3 years, 45,000 this year. Well, his rate may go up to 50 or 60 next year to go 3 years. So you figure that's $2 or $3 in addition to any other increase. We had some say up to 250,000 to go back 10 years. You know, that could raise it $10, $15. Or, yes, the first one will be just to see if residents really want the forensic audit. Then the second one will be giving you the chance to vote. Do you want to go back 3 years? You want to go back 5 years, 10 years? I'll get a range of prices going back different years. And then the residents can vote.
Okay,
Yes, it's too late to put it on this budget. So it'd be on the 2026 budget.
She needs to be up there.
Vivian, can you come up here, dear? Because you did put something on here. Okay, you have to understand, the residents have to understand exactly what a forensic audit is. And we're gonna explain it real good.
My question is,
Name and unit
I don't understand.
Name and
I
unit
understand it's
number.
not going on this budget.
Name
So
and unit number?
Vivian Blair, Unit 4. So it's not going on until next October's vote, or will it be in March?
Huh?
Will it be on,
As
whether we
far
want it or
as
not?
far as the rates and what it would raise the HOAs, that will be on the March, so they can get it on the budget for 2026. Because they started working on the budget in June.
Okay.
So if we don't know in March, then it would be put off till the 27 budget.
Okay,
Are you-
and you're gonna give prices, and you say it's gonna be, let's say, X amount of dollars if they do decide to do it. Is that gonna be just a temporary, just for the audit? Like if you raise it for $5 for the audit, does that mean when the audit's done,
that $5 will come back to us?
No. That money's gone because we gotta pay for the audit.
I understand, but I mean, after you pay for the audit, then that money was for audit. Our HOA should go down by that amount.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
we're
that
not
was
doing
just,
it.
that's just gonna be designated
Okay,
for the forensic audit.
that's what I was
So-
confused about.
Look at the money that we could be paying out for a forensic audit. Are we better to just forget what happened in the past and update our office with qualified bookkeepers, accountants, whatever we need, equipment, and spend that money to upgrade and make our office more efficient, more effective than trying to dig in the past? And what if they don't find anything and we paid out $200,000?
Or if they find something and
And it's,
then you're gonna prosecute somebody,
then you gotta
maybe?
prosecute and then you're talking more money.
Yeah. It's-
So it's up to the residents.
Right, and I think a lot of people think, yes, it'd be nice to have a forensic audit, but why throw good money after bad? Well, I need to add to that, Vivian, you're right in a way, but those residents, those of you who have lived here for a lot of years, over the years, where's the money, where'd it go, how come, every meeting, with the treasurer's report, the monies were always the same amounts from report to report, nobody knew, and they still don't know where a lot of money went. Where was it? Oh, they'll find it with a forensic audit. Yes, they will.
You won't get it back.
Well, you know what, we don't know that because, you know what, I'm gonna put it to you this way. If you didn't do anything wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about when there's a forensic audit. Because there has been, and I know, there has been monies missing, misappropriated, put into things for others that have lived here in the past. And you know what? The forensic audit would dig down into where the money went. And we may not, you're right, we may not get it back, but at least can we find out where the hell it went? Or where what was it used for? What was it used for?
Do we even know a dollar figure of what we have lost?
We don't know that we've lost any or if it's just bad bookkeeping.
Well, you know what, bottom line is gonna be up to you guys anyway, so.
It's up to the residents.
You know, it's up to the residents. I know it's, you know, it's gonna be a, you know, a certain amount of money, but it is up to the residents. And so, you know, it's gonna be up to you guys. I mean.
And it will be a two-process vote.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to add this item.
I have a quick question. I've been raising my hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you fill out a sheet?
No, but some of these other people haven't either by standing up.
Go ahead.
All right, my quick question is with the HOA. What? Oh, I'm Sharon Rachi. I have no idea what my unit number is. Maybe 3, 2. Anyway, my question is, why can't we use, if it's a $200,000 forensic audit, why can't we use it off of interests of other accounts? Why pass that to the HOA of the residents? Because it's something that even if it was, even if it was bad bookkeeping, that's the board's fault, not the residents' fault. So I don't think the residents should have to pay any kind of increase.
Well, it wasn't the board's
Interest from reserves has to stay in reserves, and that's where our most interest is. Our interest in operating isn't enough.
Well, I don't think the residents should have to bear the whole problem for it.
No, like I say, you know, it's gonna be on, it might not even be on the ballot, depends.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, who else? All right, so. Do you have a paper? Did you sign in?
I did not.
Okay.
Actually, it's really kind of simple. if I'm interpreting this correctly,
Name and unit.
Steve Smetko, Unit 2.
Thank you.
If there's no reasonable, and it sounds like there's no reasonable expectation, number one, that we're gonna necessarily find something, or if we do find something, that money is gone, right? Because if not, it's in one of these accounts that you've read all, right? All these figures, right? So what's the point of this? Unfortunately, it's water over the dam. Regardless, we've been talking about a forensic audit for years now. It never happens. People don't want to pay for it. Can't say I blame them, right? So why don't we just clear the decks, say the numbers we've got now are what we're basing it. It's ground zero. These are the figures we're going to use. Let's correct the issues we've had. Try to keep, including something that I've recommended before. Perhaps we hire a CP to do these things, so we're not revisiting these things every doggone year.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
We'll let it vote on it. Yes, sir. Name and unit number?
Frank McDowell, Unit 6. Good evening. If a forensic audit gets approved by the community, I don't think we should have to pay for it. We didn't cause the problem in the beginning. We should not have to pay a dime for it and raise everybody's rents up to $55, $60 a month. And I'd like to correct something. You said, well, it may go to 55 and we won't get that money back. That's understandable. But it would go back to $50. Would it not?
No.
Once
No.
it was completed.
No, because what we're voting on the 2025 budget is they've recommended a $5 increase. That's just, or $4.
I know you're.
Well, that's because it was $5 at one time and they cut it back.
I just don't
The
think.
forensic audit would be added on top of that.
Okay, I don't think we should have to pay for it. You all need to figure it out, where the money's gonna come from with all these hundreds of thousands of dollars you were telling us about. It's doable.
Can't use reserves for it.
Well-
That's where the majority of our money is.
Just figure it out. We shouldn't have to pay for it. And don't people want to know where all that money went so this kind of crap doesn't happen in the future? Well, I'm sorry. This whole thing has been extremely confusing for everybody. And you should get an answer to it so it doesn't happen again and we shouldn't have to pay for it. I'm done.
I do have a question, I guess, for Mary's story. Why? Because you're the best at the finances. No. But the auditors completed 2 weeks ago or whatnot. So you're gonna finally get their final figures, correct?
Audit wasn't completed 2 weeks ago.
Audit wasn't completed.
Books were closed 2 weeks ago.
The CPA closed out our books 2
Okay.
weeks ago.
Now, are the books balanced or are they not balanced?
I have no access to that answer.
Do you know?
Huh?
Do you know? Because
The
are
reason
are
that
we
it took
gonna
her,
be able to look at where they are right now, what they show, and what we show right now, and see how much off we are?
she went in and made corrections. We went back, the finance committee, and reconciled the bank statements, showed the accountant, the CPA, where mistakes had been made in 22 and 23. She verified those mistakes and went in and corrected those. She had to correct those to get the books to balance out before she could submit anything to the auditor. So now the auditor is finishing up with the
So-
audit.
But then I guess my question is, when do we have a clean slate to work from? Never? Never?
Well, if she got everything balanced out correctly, and from January the 1st of 2024, we don't know how many mistakes have been made. She just went in and corrected 22 and 23.
But when you get the audit back to 23.
We'll know if we're in the red or the black.
Exactly.
What's the cap on HOA, increases?
8%. I believe it's 8%, isn't it?
8%? 8% a year?
There is a cap.
I think it is, I'm not positive.
Okay.
I may have heard it wrong.
I know, I'm not going to say it. Vote. Can we vote, please?
Okay, so are we going to, we're just gonna, are we gonna put this on the ballot?
I think the residents have asked for it in the past. Let's put it on there and see what they come back with.
Let's move on. Oh, I thought you already had it.
We didn't vote.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Putting it on.
Aye.
Yeah, aye. Next.
Okay, the next on the agenda is going to appoint our new directors to the board. Okay. Will our three candidates come up, please? Well, they're ready to vote, I know, but you know, the residents want to know who they are.
I'm gonna make the motion. I make a motion to appoint, can I do that? Sure I can. Oh.
Just read what it says.
Okay, there are three director openings on the board of directors. Resumes were submitted and reviewed. Recommendation, appoint three candidates to the board of directors, and their resumes have been attached. Motion to appoint Roberta Brodeur, David Henry, and Jane Rando to board of directors.
I second that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Let's not go through this again.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay, can I have the new candidates please come up? We're gonna swear everybody in at the same time. For those residents who do not know our candidates, this is Dave Henry, Roberta, and Jane.
Jane.
Welcome.
Okay. Oh. Now we don't want to. Okay, we're all gonna take the oath of office at the same time. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment in conformity with the governing documents of Brookridge Community Property Owners Incorporated? I do. That you will, in all your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its membership. Okay, you may lower your hand. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I duly hereby proclaim you as duly appointed. Roberta Brodeur, David Henry, and Jane Randall as Board of Directors. Congratulations. Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve Dave Henry as second vice president. You accept? Thank you. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to appoint Jane Randall as board secretary.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Jane, you're our board secretary, and David Henry as second vice president. Congratulations and welcome to the board. Welcome.
Okay, I make a motion to recall Linda Walls.
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yeah, why are you calling Linda Walls? Recalling.
Recall it. Because we're not getting things done. And things are being done in secret. And I didn't get a call today to come out.
Rich, we asked that this would happen.
There's just too much. You're in way over your head, Linda. You're in way over your head.
Richard, as a board member, first of all, this is uncalled for, okay? We're all board members up here, everybody working together, and everybody's working very, very hard to get things done here. You have your items, Catherine.
It's a fight. Anytime I want to get anything done, it's a fight.
Well, why can't you talk to Linda on
I have not gotten a phone call. I was supposed to be online with you with the forensic auditors to listen to everything that, I never got the calls from you. You haven't called me, you haven't spoken to me about these things. It's just, it's nutty. It's nutty.
Madam President?
Richard, in due respect, okay, if there are any issues between.
I don't know how the rest of the people that we just put on the board will vote. Maybe they'll, say, no, I don't know.
Well, we don't know, they're just coming on
But I
board.
made the motion and it was seconded.
What are you making a motion to?
I made the motion to recall Linda Walls.
Well, why are you recalling her?
What does that mean?
Because I do
What does
not
it mean,
believe
recall?
that she's doing a good
We need a
job
point of,
for Brookridge. I really do not feel it.
And why do you feel that?
There are many factors. Okay, and I don't know if I should say all the things.
let me interrupt right here. Board of Directors cannot recall. Board of Directors can only remove an officer from the board. The residents have to recall.
No.
You can, yes.
It's taking out of the position of treasurer.
You didn't say that, you said you're recalling
That's what
her.
the recall is taking out of the position of treasurer. It is not, it is putting her back to direct.
Another issue is that you cannot add an item to the agenda, and that is the law. You can do it the next.
This opened it up by putting new board members on. I don't know how they're gonna vote. We put new board members on, maybe,
Then you do it at the next, then put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Because, of course, Millie, she controls the agenda. And that wouldn't be good.
Richard, I'd like to ask you a question.
It is legal to do
Richard,
it
I don't.
But you didn't say
control
you weren't saying that you were looking to remove her as treasurer, you were just asking to recall.
That's the only thing, that's the
But that's what you,
verbiage-
first of all, that's
the
what you needed to
verbiage
state.
in The 720.
Okay,
That's
you
the
needed to
verbiage.
state exactly what you were planning to do, which you didn't do. And let me ask you a question. Did you walk in her shoes to see what she was left with from Jim Westbrook? You were out of this development for 26 weeks. For 26 weeks, attended one finance committee, and you're making a judgment? I think that's a pretty bad call.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but
I know he said he'd defend himself, but you don't know what went on.
Ken Walls, Unit 6-4.
4.
I think maybe we should vote to remove you, Richard. Let me tell you something. I got the damn floor.
That is up to the members. The members can remove
the floor. I know the dedication Linda's put into this. And she puts in as every day she's at that office. Are you? She went to a meeting today,
and I was supposed to be called to be there, and I was not called to be there. Isn't that something? Is that
You were the one that set it up for 11 o'clock.
I was 1 minute late to a meeting earlier in the week, and she's on the phone to my significant other, trying to find out where I am.
It was Millie, not me.
well, if you wouldn't have known there was a meeting at 8 o'clock, it was about the guardhouse or the gatehouse. So, back off, man, back off. You don't know the dedication and the years that she's put into this. And she's got enough brains to figure things out. And yes, Jim Westbrook, let him rest in peace.
Yeah.
He burned out a lot, and he moved a lot of monies for us and got us in the right direction. But, and I don't mean this wrong, please don't take it wrong. But people that's gone, they don't talk. All you got is numbers in front of you and letters, and it's sad, but she's done a hell of a job, and you're out of place, Richard. Total out of place. Total. That's all I gotta say.
And I did not say anything disparaging about Jim Westbrook, to put that out.
You most certainly, you've not got involved enough in Brookridge. You spend too much time in the north to solve it.
I've watched the finances in here since 2019. Have you done that, Richard? I have reports going back to 2019. I request them every month. Credit card statements.
And
everything.
When did everything start going bad on our?
Have you watched any of the meetings from 20 and 21? All the questions that we asked the board, Mary and I? We never got an answer. Why do you think I ran for treasurer? Because I want to straighten this mess up in here. And I've been working on it diligently. And if you can't appreciate that, then you're pretty low.
All right, I need to adjourn this meeting, please. It's 9 o'clock.
There was no
We have a
motion.
motion and we have a
I
second.
second it.
And it was seconded.
We have a motion and it was seconded.
We need a vote.
We need to make a vote.
All in favor? Aye. No, to remove.
I made a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And the motion previous to that was on the floor and it was also seconded, so it had to be voted on. We have voted, the board's voted.
You vote on.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
You haven't even voted on the floor, you know.
We can't talk tonight. We're talking that tonight.
Well, we should not even vote on the answer.
I made a motion to adjourn. Well, that's not a motion to try and get rid of somebody on the board. No, you can't do that. It cannot be done.
It was a motion to remove his treasurer.
Are we done?